Greetings, everybody. This is part 3 to restoring the holy calendar of the Most High, Ahaya, and learning how to do the rituals and the offerings for the tabernacle, for the Ark of Covenant, for the feast, for the Sabbaths and stuff like that. And we're also learning how to calculate time based on the sun and moon. That we'll be getting into in a little bit, after we finish up how the tabernacle is supposed to be set up and what it's used for and when to use it and so on. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep my music playing. So let's go ahead and begin, because we got a lot more parts left. Exodus 38, section 1. The altar of burnt offerings. And he made the altar of burnt offering of shittim wood. Remember what the of offering is. To refresh your brain, it would be burnt offering would be this right here. The altar of burnt offering, where you're supposed to cook and do all your stuff on there, the ritual. So remember, 5 cubits was the length thereof, and 5 cubits the breadth thereof. Let's look up this word real quick, because I'm pretty sure some of y'all still didn't look it up yet. But what is breadth? The measure or dimension from side to side, width. Okay, so that's like width. Wide range of scope. A piece usually produced in a standard width. A dimension. Okay, I see what they're saying. And the width of dimension. Yeah, of course, because they got the length and need the width. So 5 cubits was the length thereof. Let's see what cubits mean. An ancient unit of linear measure, originally equal to the length of the forearm, from the tip of the middle finger to the elbow, or about 17 to 22 inches, 43 to 56 centimeters. So that we're gonna need. Let's go ahead and put that into our little note section. So it's equal to like 17 to 22 inches. Yup, everyone's saying the same thing. So it was 5 cubits was the length thereof. So 5 forearms, or arms from middle finger, 5 of them, was the length thereof, and 5 cubits are the breadth, the width thereof. It was 4 square, which means they were equilateral. They're all equal. All the sides equal. They're the same. And 3 cubits the height thereof. So we have the length, the width, the height. 3 cubits would be the height. And he made the horns thereof on the 4 corners of it. The horns thereof were of the same. And he overlaid it with brass. And he made all the vessels of the altar, the pots and the shovels and the basins and the flesh hooks and the fire pans. All the vessels thereof made he of brass. Let's see what is a flesh hook real quick. I'm thinking it's a hook, like a hook for a fish, but I don't want to assume. You can be wrong, you know. Let me go back. Bada bing, bada boom. Flesh hooks. A many-pronged fork used in the sacrificial services by the priests in drawing away the flesh. So pictures of flat hook. A hook for use in lifting meat as from a pot, or a hook to hang meat on. So we can go ahead and look at pictures right here. Hold on 1 second, guys. None of these are it. Let me see if they call it like this, flesh hook separate. man. They don't have a picture of it right here. Let me go right here and see if I can find it. Let's see if they have a picture here somewhere. Oh, okay. I see it's like a hook, but these people use it for the wrong thing right here. These people use it for crazy things. So it's to hold the flesh up. So it'll be something similar to this. So we can hold up the flesh like a hook. These people got the wrong images here. There goes the tabernacle right there. Cool. It's a different type of one, but there goes the shovel, the basins, the horns on the four corner. Hold on 1 second. Alright, let's get out of this section because it's showing some crazy stuff. For this right here, I can save. So we'll go ahead and save that. So that's to hold the meat up on the above the altar and stuff. And the fire pans. All the vessels thereof made he of brass. And he made for the altar a brassen grate of network under the compass thereof, beneath unto the midst of it. So and he made for the altar a brassen grat of network. So let's see what brassen grat is, or basin grate. So 4 horns projected from the top, 4 corners, and bronze grating was inside. Blah blah blah. Hold on, let's see something. I wonder if they had a, let's see if they have a picture of it here. Brass and grate. Nah, they don't have it there. Let me see if I can see. It might call a basin grate. Let's see for this. Brass and grate. Where origin, to rub against, teeth, blah blah blah. Alright, this is just about the offering. Pictures of a brass and grat. Okay, I think I know how I gotta get it. Pardon me, had to take care of my daughter real quick. Going back and forth here. Cool, I'm gonna save this picture. Here's another good picture of it. Alright, let me look what a brassin is. A brassin. That's a fish. But that's a brazen, not a brassin. Alright, let me look up what a grate is at least. Then maybe I can put together the picture. Oh, okay. So the grill, that's like a grill. Oh, and it's probably brass. A brass grate where you're supposed to cook the food on, or the slaughter, whatever you're calling it. A brassin grate. Okay, I see. So alright. So, and he made for an altar a brassin grate of network, which would mean the nets that are intertwined, the metal of the brass grate, under the compass thereof, beneath unto the midst of it. So to cook it, put it beneath, but still into it. So it's not underneath. It's like inside the altar. And he made for the altar a brassin grate. And he cast 4 rings for the 4 ends of the grate of brass. See, gratin brace grass. To be places for the staves. And he made the staves of shittim wood, and overlaid them with brass. And he put the staves into the rings on the sides of the altar, to bear it withal. He made the altar hollow with boards. The bronze basin. And he made the laver of brass, and the foot of it of brass, of the looking glass, of the looking glasses of the woman assembling, which assembled at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So he made the laver of brass. The laver is where the water is supposed to be going in. Let me make sure that I'm right. Yup, that's where the water is supposed to be going in before you come into the congregation. You gotta clean your foot, everyone. And you have to partake in the ritual, or you can't be near, because it could kill you. Alright. The tabernacle courtyard. And he made the court on the south side, southward, the hangings of the court were of fine twined linen, 100 cubits. Their pillars were 20, and their brassen sockets 20, and the hooks of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side the hangings were 100 cubits. So from the south side it was 100 cubits, 20 pillars, and their brassen sockets were 20. The hook of the pillars and their fillets were of silver. And for the north side hangings were 100 cubits as well. Their pillars were 20 as well, and their sockets of brass 20 as well. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets are silver as well. And for the west side were hangings of 50 cubits. 50 this time, not 20. Their pillars 10, not 12. And their sockets 10, and this is the west side. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver, so they're all silver. And for the east side, eastward, 50 cubits. The hangings of the one side of the gate were 15 cubits. Their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. So on the east side, eastward, 50 cubits there, and the hangings of the one side of the gate, where the hanging is at, were 15 cubits. Their pillars 3, and their sockets 3. Let me see if these pictures are accurate. 15 cubits. And there goes 3 gates where the opening is at. So where that opening is at, let me see. 3 pillars. Their sockets 3. And for the other side of the court gate, on this hand and that hand, were hangings of 15 cubits. Their pillars 3. And their sockets 3. All the hangings of the court round about were all fine twined linen. So all the hangings around the court, which would probably be this stuff right here, all linen. This whole courtyard, this whole thing is the courtyard. Pardon me. So all the hangings of the court round about were of fine twined linen. And the sockets for the pillars were of brass. The hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver. And the overlaying of their chapiters of silver. Let's look what chapiters are. And all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. So let's see what a chapiter is. The capital of a column. The capital of a column. Oh, hold on. I think I know what they mean. Because there's 2 sections to it, so it can mean chapter 1 and chapter 2. But I'm not sure. I'm not going to make that assumption. We're going to check it out first. Because remember, there's a first apartment for the tabernacle and the second apartment. So it might be talking about that chapiter. But right here it says chapiter mean the capital of a column. So that would mean the large mass of that column. But let me check right here, next page. Alright. Oh, nope. They call it chapter house, a building, room, or suite of rooms where a chapter meets or transacts his business. There's barely any different definitions about chapter. Let me type in Holy Bible. Let's see if they have the definition here. Oh, yup, it says the capital that is placed on top of a column. So something that's going on top of something. So, and the sockets for the pillars were of brass, the hooks of the pillars and their fillets of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters of silver. And all the pillars of the court were filleted with silver. And the hanging for the gate of the court was needlework of blue and purple and scarlet, and fine twined linen, and 20 cubits was the length, and the height in the breadth was 5 cubits. Answerable to the hangings of the court, and their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters, and their fillets of silver, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the court round about were of brass. So answerable to the hangings of the court. And 20 cubits was the length, and the height, and the breadth, and the width was 5 cubits. 20 cubits was the length, the height 5 cubits. Answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4, their hooks of silver, and the overlaying of their chapiters and their fillets of silver, and all the pins of the tabernacle of the court round about were of brass. So all the pins around the tabernacle were of brass. All the hooks were of silver, all the sockets were of brass. Alright. Also, I know what hangings mean. It means, I think I do. It means picture or something like that, but let's see what they say. Alright, so it says, before the entrance to the most holy place called the veil. Oh, okay, so it's like a veil. The veil is made out of linen too. Before you get into the actual tabernacle place, there's actually linen, like a curtain you have to pass by. It's probably right where this line is at. And once you go into there, it's sacred. What happens in there happens in there. So let me see another picture of it. Alright, that's what we got right now. Alright. So the hanging would be like a veil, a curtain. Let me go ahead and see an image of it. This is what I always do. The act, an instance, or the form of capital punishment, hanging, often hangs, blah blah blah, hunks in a room, attaching a painting. Alright, this ain't even it. To swing freely as on a hinge, to be crucified, to be suspended, dangle. Oh, so to put something up, they're trying to say to hang. Okay. The hanging would be the curtain. That's what they called it during that time. Yeah, they don't really show us a picture in here, but I'm pretty sure it has to do with curtain, like we just read. Alright, let's continue. So its width will be 5 cubits and its length will be 20 cubits. And this is answerable to the hangings of the court. And their pillars were 4, and their sockets of brass 4. So the cost of the tabernacle. This is the sum of the tabernacle, even of the tabernacle of testimony, as it was counted, according to the commandment of Moses, for the service of the Levites, the Haitians, by the hand of Itamar, son to Aaron, the priest. So look up Itamar if you don't know who he is. It's good to know who these people are. And Bezalel, the son of Uri, the son of Hor, of the tribe of Yahawada, Judah, made all that Ahiah, the Most High, commanded Moses. And with him was Aholiab, son of Ahishmash, of the tribe of Dan, an engraver, and a cunning workman, and an embroiderer in blue, and in purple, and in scarlet, and in fine linen. So these people are the ones making everything together. All the gold that was occupied for the work and all the work of the holy place, even the gold of the offering, was 29 talents. So back then that was probably was a little bit of money. Now it'll be a crap load of money. And 730 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. So let's see what a shekel is in talents. What does that mean to them in their language? Shekel. Oh, shekel is like $1, a coin or something like that. Alright, like currency. So they had a currency system back then too. I like this picture. Alright, I get it. I'm gonna go to web. Let me go ahead and save this picture. I like this. And they probably have a definition there about it. So shekel, any of several ancient units of weight. So they used to weigh out their currency, especially a Hebrew unit equal to about a half ounce. A gold or silver coin equal in weight to one of these units, especially the chief silver coin of the ancient Hebrews, a coin. So a shekel is pretty much a coin. I'm gonna go ahead and save that in there too, because we can use all that. Alright. Oh man, this person got no picture of no shekel. Alright, let's continue though. We know what it means. We don't use that currency nowadays. Of the sanctuary. So 730 shekels. And it took 29 talents. Let's see what talents is. Because it's not talent as you can sing good or anything like that. Oh, so that's another unit. Any of several ancient units of weight. A unit of value equal to the value of a talent of gold or silver. So these people are trading gold and silver during that time. Alright, hold on. Let's see. So we got our definition right here. Boom. So that's what they call that, talent. Later on we'll probably figure out why they call it that on our own time, you know. So alright. And the silver of them that were numbered of the congregation was 100 talents, and 1,703 score, and 15 shekels. So that would be 1,703 scores. So that would be, yeah, 1,703 scores. And 15 shekels after the shekel of the sanctuary. A bekah for every man, bless you. That is half a shekel after the shekel of the sanctuary, bless you. So let's see what a bekah is real quick. These are important for us to know real quick. I'm not going to do this with all of them, but you should take note and research these things later. So once again, it's another one. An ancient Hebrew unit of weight equal to half a shekel. So there we go. So everything is done around the shekels. Let me go ahead and save my note. Alright. So a bekah, half a shekel for every man, that is. For everyone that went to be numbered. From 20 years old and upward. For 600,000. 600,000 and 3,000 and 550 men. So 3,550 men, and that's 600,000, 3,000. So for 600,000 and 3,550 men, and of the 100 talents of silver were cast the sockets of the sanctuary. So were cast the sockets of the sanctuary, and the sockets of the veil, and 100 sockets of the 100 talents. A talent for a socket. So a gold or silver per socket. A gold or silver per socket. And of the 775 shekels. So the 1,775 shekels. He made hooks for the pillars, and overlaid their chapiters, and filleted them. And the brass of the offering was 20 talents, and 2,400 shekels. And therewith he made the sockets to the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and the brassen altar, and the brassen grat for it, and all the vessels of the altar, and the sockets of the court round about, and the sockets of the court court gate, and all the pins of the tabernacle, and all the pins of the court round about. So therefore the Creator was providing them with great abundance, as you can tell. That sheep, that cows, that everything, gardens, plants. Man, we fell far from all this truth. So let's continue. Exodus 39, the ephod. By the way, let me go ahead and save this, because I'll be able to put things together well on my notes for our final overview. I'm excited to start talking about the sun and moon, but we'll keep going with this first. Alright, so Exodus 39, the ephod. Section 1. And of the blue and purple and scarlet they made cloths of service, to do service in the holy place, and made the holy garments for Aaron. And the Most High commanded Moses. And he made the ephod of gold, blue, purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. And they did beat the gold into thin plates. So I mean, they smashed the gold down, they smashed it into thin plates to put on the chest, and cut it into wires. So they were able to even make it turn into wires from the gold, to work it in the blue, and in the purple, and in the scarlet, and in the fine linen with cunning work. So now it was conductive, this whole breastplate, this ephod, pardon me, the ephod. They made shoulder pieces for it, to couple it together. So we go back to our picture. Clamps, gold plate around the head, mitar, front ephod, which would be the suit behind this jewel thing. So it would be this thing with the crosses it looked like on it. And the breastplate of judgment would be this right here with the 12 tribe of Israel's name. Well, actually, yeah, 12 tribe of Israel's name, and there are 12 different kinds of precious stone. And I'm pretty sure each stone associate with each specific tribe. And there's probably a specific order, but let's not complicate that, because as you learn, you'll learn more, you'll know more. And the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it, which would be this. Hold on, pardon me. Tunic. We'll find that one here. So linen girdle. And just to know what a girdle is, for some of y'all, a belt or sash worn around the waist, something that encircles like a belt, an elasticized flexible undergarment worn over the waist and hips, especially by women, to give the body a more slender appearance. So gird, which means it is tight. That would be this thing around his waist right here that he's tying. And you see the linen falling down from it. The curious girdle. The linen girdle. So all that you'll learn on your own on the way. Learn what those words mean. So in the curious girdle of his ephod that was upon it was of the same, according to the work thereof, of gold, blue, purple, scarlet, and fine twined linen, as the Most High commanded Moses. And they wrought onyx stones, enclosed in ouches of gold, probably ounces of gold, graven as signets are graven. Signets are like sigils. So it's a seal, especially one used officially to mark document. The impression made with such a seal, to mark or endorse with a signet. So I'd be like his signature, like a signature. There's a picture of him. Signet, like how they put that in the metal. This is what we're doing with the stones. So that's what they're doing. That's similar to sigils, which they use in which they use in witchcraft and things like that. They took that all from us. sigils. Like these things right here. These are sigils. They put them in the ground and do things like that to make things happen and manifest. Not only are they sigils, they are whatchamacallit, not just sigils. Oh yeah, but they're also sacred geometry, which mean they use certain shapes and angles and stuff like that to get to you. So you gotta be strong when you see some of this stuff, cause they use it for wrong, as you can tell, these sigils. So let's go ahead and continue reading. So the honest stones they rocked on this were enclosed in ouches of gold, graven as signets of are graven, with the names of the children of Yis-RoyAl, Israel. And he put them on the shoulders of the ephod, that they should be stones for a memorial to the children of Israel, as the Most High commanded Moses. And as you can tell, that would be this right here, onyx stones placed upon the shoulder clasp. That's the shoulder clasp, those two. Excellent. So the breastpiece, hold on one second, guys. I got you. Alright, let's continue. The breastpiece. And he made the breastplate of cunning work, like the work of the ephod, of gold, blue, and purple, and scarlet, and fine twined linen. It was foursquare, which means it was equilateral. They made the breastplate double. A span was the length thereof, and a span the width, the breadth thereof, being doubled. And they set in it 4 rows of stones. The first row was a sardius, a topaz, and a carbuncle, which we have learned earlier. This was the first row. And the second row, an emerald, a sapphire, and a diamond. And the third row, a ligure, an agate, an amethyst. And the fourth row, a beryl, an onyx, and a jasper. They were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. So let's see what ouches are. Ouches. These people are funny. Alright, let me go right here. Okay, so it's a clasp, buckle, a brooch, especially one worn for ornament. The setting of a precious stone. So a setting for a precious stone, a brooch or buckle set with jewels, a clasp, a brooch. A brooch. Alright, let's picture of ouches or brooch. Alright, hold on. I think we're talking about sofa. Alright, let's see what a brooch is. Hold on one second. Where are we again? Alright, we're looking for what ouches of gold mean. Unless they mean ounces. So ouches of gold in their enclosings. Let's see what a brooch is, a definition. So a brooch is an ornament that is held by a pin or clasp and is worn at or near the neck. See brooch defined. So it's a decorative pin or clasp. Surprised you don't have a picture of it here. But it's like a clasp. Probably similar to these things right here, because they attach to your shirt with a pin and stuff like that. But I am not sure. I would have to do some more research on that name. So they were enclosed in ouches of gold in their enclosings. So what I'm guessing they're saying is that the stone's been molded into its position with gold all around it. You see what I'm saying? As if they were kept together by gold, melted, which enclosed the ouches. I mean, which enclosed the space between the diamonds and all that stuff. I mean, the stones. And the stones were according to the names of the children of Israel. 12 according to their names, like the engravings of a signet, everyone with his name according to the 12 tribes. And they made upon the breastplate chains at the ends of wreathen work of pure gold. So the chains that they made was made from pure gold as well. And they made 2 ouches of gold and 2 gold rings, and put the 2 rings in the 2 ends of the breastplate. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold into the 2 rings on the ends of the breastplate, so they can tie it around the body and keep it up. And they put the 2 wreathen chains of gold and the 2 strings on the ends of the breastplate. And the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the 2 ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. So all that will be clamping to the top of the ephod, which would be up here. And the breastplate, as you can tell, it ties up there. So the other one down here probably ties up there as well. They all meet at the clasp. And the 2 ends of the 2 wreathen chains they fastened in the two ouches, and put them on the shoulder pieces of the ephod before it. And they made 2 rings of gold, and put them on the 2 ends of the breastplate, upon the border of it, which was on the side of the ephod inward. And they made 2 other golden rings, and put them on the 2 sides of the ephod, underneath, toward the forepart of it. So it's on the top and the bottom, they got rings. Over against the other coupling, therefore. So over all the other clothing and layers. Above the curious girdle of the ephod, which means even before the curious girdle of the ephod. And they did bind the breastplate by his rings unto the rings of the ephod, with a lace of blue. And it might be above the curious girdle of the ephod, and that the breastplate might not be loose from the ephod, as the Most High, Ahiah, commanded Moses. So we already read the additional priestly garments, but we'll go ahead and read it one more time the way they put it. And he made the robe of the ephod of woven work, olive blue. So all the robes olive blue, the inside. And there was an hole in the midst of the robe, as the hole of an harbergion, that looked like an armor thing, with a band round about the hole, that it should not rend. And they made upon the hems of the robe pomegranates of blue. Remember, the hems mean the ends where you're supposed to fold it. Blue, purple, and scarlet, entwined linen. And they made bells of pure gold, and put the bells between the pomegranates upon the hem of the robe, round about between the pomegranates. So pomegranate bell, pomegranate bell, pomegranate bell. A bell and a pomegranate, a bell and a pomegranate, round about the hem of the robe to minister in, as the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. And they made coats of fine linen, of woven work for Aaron and for his sons, a mitre of fine linen, and goodly bonnets of fine linen, and linen breeches of fine twined linen, and a girdle of fine twined linen, and blue and purple and scarlet of needlework, as the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. So this is everything he was being told for 40 days and 40 nights at Mount Sinai. Alright, so mitre. Mitre. Hold on one sec. Let's check right here and see what that means. So a mitre is his head full of graceful majesty was covered with the episcopal mitar, a headdress which gave it. So hold on, to confer the match together, bevel. So they say to bestow a mitre upon, to make, join with a mitre joint, to bevel the edges of for joining with a mitre joint. The liturgical headdress and part of the insignia of a Christian bishop in the Western Church. It is a tall pointed hat with peaks in front and back, worn at all solemn functions. So we gotta get a picture of that if we can. Oh, pardon me. Alright, give me one sec. I'm gonna take 1 second. Alright. And they made the plate of the holy crown of pure gold. So the mitar would be like a crown. And wrote upon it a writing like to the engravings of a signet. Holiness to the Most High Ahiah. The pure white light essence. Holiness to Ahiah, sure Ahiah. Or just Ahiah. And they tied unto it a lace of blue to fasten it on high upon the mitar. As the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. Moses approves the work. Thus was all the work of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation finished. And I'm pretty sure it took him 6 days to do this. And they rest the 7th, or had the Sabbath the 7th. And the children of Israel, Yis-RoyAl, did according to all that the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. So did they. And they brought the tabernacle unto Moses, the tent and all his furniture, his taches, his boards, his bars, and his pillars, and his sockets, and the covering of ram's skins dyed red, and the covering of badger's skins, and the veil of the covering, the ark of the testimony, and the staves thereof, and the mercy seat, the table, and all the vessels thereof, and the showbread, the pure candlestick with the lamps thereof, even with the lamps to be set in order, and all the vessels thereof, and the oil for light, and the golden altar, and the anointing oil, and the sweet incense, and the hanging for the tabernacle door. And this is a sum up of everything. The brassen altar, and his grat of brass, his staves, and all his vessels, the laver, and his foot, the hangings of the court, his pillars, and his sockets, and the hanging for the court gate, his cords, and his pins, and all the vessels of the service of the tabernacle, for the tent of the congregation, the cloths of service to do service in the holy place, and the holy garments for Aaron the priest, and his sons' garments, to minister in the priest's office, according to all that the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. So the children of Israel made all the work, and Moses did look upon all the work, and behold, they had done it as the Most High Ahiah had commanded. Even so had they done it, and Moses blessed them. So bless you guys who actually do this and fulfill this up. So now I think this is the last one, and we enter Leviticus. We'll be skipping around. We're still learning about the feasts and the rituals and stuff like that. So Exodus 40, section 1, the tabernacle setup. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Oh, the first day of the first month, which will be Passover day, in Nisan, Aviv, February. Around March and April, the end of March, before April. Shalt thou set up the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, and thou shalt put therein the ark of the testimony, and cover the ark with the veil, the curtain. And thou shalt bring in the table, and set in order the things that are to be set up in order upon it. And thou shalt bring in the candlestick, and light the lamps thereof. And thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony. So be before the ark of testimony. Before you pass the curtain to the ark of testimony, you will put the incense. So right before you go in the door, you're smelling it kind of. And put the hanging of the door to the tabernacle. So the tabernacle will put the curtains to block it. And thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation. And thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle. So that means you would be putting it right around this area. The altar's right here, the tabernacle's there, and the water should be in between. The pillars are these things, these sticks holding up, and that's what they use to hold everything up, out of shitted or chisid or whatever shittim wood. And the linen hangings are these black things you see here, which is supposed to be silver. They're showing you silver. And right here, there goes curtains. When everything begins, you close it, blah blah blah. This will be the altar right here. This will be like the candlestick setup and everything, and the ark of the testimony will be all the way in the back. You see? And here's another picture of it. The altar and the burnt offering, the entrance towards the east. The far west will be where the ark of the covenant would be. So nowhere east, north, south, east, west is that. North, around north to south would be where the altar of the incense go, the golden lampstand, and the table of the showbread. And before the tabernacle, which has a curtain, there's the laver where you wash your feet before you go in. You can't go in with shoes. You gotta be barefooted. It's unholy to have shoes in the Most High's holy land. And the burnt offering would be near the entrance, the outer court. So we're gonna go ahead and continue. So, cover the ark with the veil. And thou shalt bring in the table, and set in order the things that are to be set in order upon it. And thou shalt bring in the candlestick, and light the lamps thereof. And thou shalt set the altar of gold for the incense before the ark of the testimony, and put the hanging of the door to the tabernacle. And thou shalt set the altar of the burnt offering before the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation. And thou shalt set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar, and shalt put water therein. And thou shalt set up the court round about, and hang up the hanging at the court gate. And thou shalt take the anointing oil, and anoint the tabernacle, and all that is therein, which mean the people as well, and shalt hallow it, and all the vessels thereof, and it shall be holy. So all the vessels, all the utensils, all the stuff like that. And thou shalt anoint the altar of the burnt offering, and all his vessels, and sanctify the altar. And it shall be an altar most holy. And thou shalt anoint the laver and his foot, and sanctify it. And thou shalt bring Aaron and his sons unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation, and wash them with water. And thou shalt put on Aaron the holy garments, and anoint him, and sanctify him, that he may minister unto me in the priest's office. And thou shalt bring his sons, and clothe them with coats. And thou shalt anoint them as you didst did anoint their father, that they may minister unto me in the priest's office. And for their anointing shall surely be a everlasting priesthood throughout their generations. Thus did Moses according to all that the Most High, Ahiah, commanded him, so did he. And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year. And it came to pass in the first month, in the second year, on the first day of the month, again, the moon cycle, that the tabernacle was reared up. And Moses reared up the tabernacle, and fastened his sockets, and set up the boards thereof, and put in the bars thereof, and reared up his pillars. And he spread abroad the tent over the tabernacle, and put the covering of the tent above upon it, as the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. And he took and put the testimony into the ark, and set the staves on the ark, and put the mercy seat above upon the ark. And he brought the ark into the tabernacle, and set up the veil of the covering, and covered the ark of the testimony, as the Most High Ahiah said. So every year we're supposed to do this. The first year he did that. The second year he's doing that on the same first day of the month, first moon. Pardon me. First, when we get a new moon around March 29th, 28th, or April the 1st, stuff like that. It's around that area. When there's a new moon around that area, that is Passover day. You see what I'm saying? That represents a new moon, a new month. So that new month would be the first month, because around Passover time was when we were freed from bondage in Egypt. That's why we do it on that day. So the first day, which would mean the day after the moon. Remember, after the moon is a sign of what day we're going to have next. So everything was reared back up, put back up, everything. And he put the table in the tent of the congregation upon the side of the tabernacle northward, without the veil. And he set the bread in order upon it before the Most High Ahiah, as the Most High Ahiah had commanded Moses. And he put the candlestick in the tent of the congregation over against the table, on the side of the tabernacle southward. So on the north side, northward, would be the would be where the bread is at. So the bread is on the north side, as this picture depicts. So the north side, the bread on this side. On the south side would be the candle, and almost in the center, but near the the table of the room of testimony, or the tabernacle of testimony, the altar of incense will go right before that, after everything else, as you see here. So this is a perfect depiction. So the courtyard looked like a rectangle in a way. So and he put the golden altar in the tent of the congregation before the veil, and he burnt sweet incense thereon, before the veil will be before the curtain, and burnt sweet incense thereon, like the Creator told us to make, as the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. And he set up the hanging at the door of the tabernacle, the curtains, and he put the altar of burnt offering by the door of the tabernacle of the tent of the congregation, which mean outside, and offered upon it the burnt offering and the meat offering, because we have a burnt offering and a meat offering, as the Most High Ahiah commanded Moses. And he set the laver between the tent of the congregation and the altar, and put water there to wash withal, to wash everything. And Moses and Aaron and his sons washed their hands and their feet thereat, when they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed, as the Most High Ahiah commanded them. So when they went into the congregation, they would wash their hand and their feet after they passed the congregation, after they passed the altar. Because the altar, you would say, is the nasty part, the sinful part of everything. So when you come from near the entrance and you pass it, gotta wash your feet, gotta wash your hand. That's the holy water. Go into the tent, you're good. Now when you get out, before you go past the altar again, you have to wash your feet and wash your hand. You see what I'm saying? Because everything's holy. So as he said, when they went into the tent of the congregation, and when they came near unto the altar, they washed, as the Most High commanded Moses. And he reared up the court round about the tabernacle and the altar, and set up the hanging of the court gate, which would be the gates. So Moses finished the work. The glory of Ahiah. Then a cloud covered the tent of the congregation, and the glory of Ahiah filled the tabernacle. And Moses was not able to enter into the tent of the congregation, because the cloud abode thereon, and the glory of the almighty pure white light Ahiah filled the tabernacle. And when the cloud was taken up from over the tabernacle, the children of Yis-RoyAl, Israel, went onward in all their journeys. But if the cloud were not taken up, then they journeyed not till the day that it was taken up. For the cloud of the Most High was upon the tabernacle by day, and fire was on it by night. So this overnight, this is all happening too, in the sight of all the house of Israel throughout all their journeys. And you do not work on the day of the feast in the congregation, so everything got to be set up the day before. You see what I'm saying? And you keep the fire on, keep everything on until the next sunrise. So alright, before we go, I'm gonna go ahead and save this right here too. This is important. I'm gonna minimize everything. I'm gonna make it into like this nice little list, so it'll be easy to remember and practice. Alright, so that's good. So that was Exodus. There's a lot more laws in Exodus, but you can go ahead and read it for yourself. But that's where all the laws are placed, is in Exodus. Covenants and everything is all made in Exodus. Genesis, all covenants made in Genesis, Exodus, Leviticus. Curses are explained in detail throughout the rest of the book. So alright, let's go ahead and let's see where. Alright, so we're going to start off with Leviticus 1. These are the laws for your burnt offerings. And the Most High called unto Moses, and spake unto him out of the tabernacle of the congregation, saying, Speak unto the children of Yis-RoyAl, and say unto them, If any man of you bring an offering unto the Most High, ye shall bring your offering of the cattle, even of the herd, and of the flock. If his offering be a burnt sacrifice of the herd, let him offer a male without blemish. He shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Most High. So the lamb or the cattle or whatever, the sheep that you're about to sacrifice, will either accept the offer or it won't. So he shall offer it of his own voluntary will at the door of the tabernacle. So it will willingly want to go through with this. This is how the rituals work. You don't work against anything's will. You got to use what's right, what is willing. And he shall put his hand upon the head of the burnt offering, and it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him. So before you start sacrificing anything, you got to make sure that you put your hand on the bull. And you see how everyone has different clothing than him, than the priest. All right. And it shall be accepted for him to make atonement for him, which means cleansing. He'll be helping us cleanse that particular sheep or ox or bullock or whatever. And he shall kill the bullock before the Most High. And the priest, Aaron's sons, shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So now he's going to have to go around the whole altar and sprinkle the blood everywhere, pretty much, around it, roundabout, which means you're going to go around it, and you know, hallelujah, praise Ahiah, we call upon you, Ahiah, for your spirit to manifest here today in this burnt offering, and you know, stuff along that line, and you're sprinkling the blood, which represents life and spirit. And he shall kill the bullock before the Most High, and the priests and Aaron's sons shall bring the blood and sprinkle the blood round about upon the altar that is by the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. So there we go. Floop, 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 all corners. And now he go for a burnt offering. And he shall flay the burnt offering and cut it into pieces. So the burnt offering needs to be cut into his pieces. And the sons of Aaron the priest shall put fire upon the altar and lay the wood order upon the fire. And the priest Aaron's sons shall lay the parts, the head and the fat, and order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. So first shall lay the parts, second shall lay the head, third shall lay the fat in order. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water. So the legs he shall wash in water. And the priest shall burn all on the altar. So after he washes the feet of the bull, but his inwards and his legs, so the inwards, his organs, everything, shall be washed in water. And the priest shall burn all on the altar. So everything will be all burnt. All. And that means all, bold. To be a burnt sacrifice, which would be like this. And we also got to do that with the lamb. And this is them washing the meats, the inside, the guts, the liver, everything. I know, pretty crazy, huh? This is what the tribe's always done. Alright, so let's see it. Their animation's kind of funny here. So, and the priest Aaron's son shall lay the parts in the head and the fat in order upon the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But his inwards and his legs shall he wash in water. And the priest shall burn all on the altar, to be a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Most High. And when you do that, smell the smell of the meat. Smell the smell of everything. Enjoy the scent. Enjoy the smell. Smell the spirit. Smell the atmosphere. You know, get lost in it. And if his offering be of the flocks, namely of the sheep or of the goats, for a burnt sacrifice, he shall bring it a male without blemish, and he shall kill it on the side of the altar northward, before the Most High and the priests, Aaron's sons, shall sprinkle his blood round about upon the altar, and he shall cut it into his pieces. So if you're using namely if you're using sheep or a goat, so with his head and his fat, and he shall cut it into his pieces, with his head and his fat, and the priest shall lay them in order on the wood that is on the fire, which is upon the altar. But he shall wash the inwards and the legs with water, and the priest shall bring it all and burn it upon the altar. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Most High, the pure white light spirit. And if the burnt sacrifice for his offering to the Most High be of fowls, then he shall bring his offering of turtle doves or of young pigeons. So turtle doves and pigeons work well too. And the priest shall bring it unto the altar, and wring off his head, which literally really means snap off his head quick, and burn it on the altar. And the blood thereof shall be wrung out of the side of the altar. And he shall pluck away his crop with his feathers, and cast it beside the altar of the east part of the place of the ashes. And he shall cleave it with the wings thereof, but shall not divide it as under. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar, upon the wood that is upon the fire. It is a burnt sacrifice, an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Most High. Yeah, that sounds pretty brutal, pretty crazy, but this is what it takes. The price of sin is death. So something got to take place of that sin, or you bear it. And these animals do go in peace. So let's go ahead. Leviticus 2. Laws for grain offerings. And when any will offer a meat offering unto the Most High, his offering shall be of fine flour, and he shall pour oil upon it, and put frankincense thereon. And he shall bring it to Aaron's sons the priests, and he shall take thereout his handful of the flour thereof, and of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it upon the altar, to be an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Most High. And the remnant of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons, the priests and his children. And it is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Most High, made by fire. And if thou bring an oblation of a meat offering baken in the oven, it shall be unleavened cakes of fine flour, mingled with olive oil, or unleavened wafers, anointed with olive oil. And if the oblation be a meat offering baken in a pan, it shall be of fine flour, unleavened, mingled with oil. Thou shalt put it in pieces, and pour oil thereon. It is a meat offering. So the meat offering, alright, so I see. So that would be a meat offering dealing with flesh, a flesh offering. And if thy oblation be a meat offering baken in the frying pan, it shall be made of fine flour with oil. And thou shalt bring the meat offering that is made of these things unto the Most High. And when it is presented unto the priest, he shall bring it unto the altar. And the priest shall take from the meat offering a memorial thereof, and shall burn it upon the altar. It is an offering made by fire, of a sweet savour unto the Most High. And that which is left of the meat offering shall be Aaron's and his sons. It is a thing most holy of the offerings of the Most High, made by fire. No meat offering which ye shall bring unto the Most High shall be made with leaven or yeast. For ye shall burn no leaven, yeast, nor any honey, in any offering of the Most High made by fire. As for the oblation of the first fruits, ye shall offer them unto the Most High, but they shall not be burnt on the altar for sweet savour. In every oblation of thy meat offering shalt thou season with salt, sea salt. Neither shalt thou suffer the salt of the covenant of thy Ahia, the pure white light spirit, to be lacking from thy meat offering. With all thine offerings thou shalt offer salt. And if thou offer a meat offering of thy first fruits unto the Most High, thou shalt offer for the meat offering of thy first fruits green ears of corn, dried by the fire, even corn beaten out of full ears. And thou shalt put oil upon it, and lay frankincense thereon. It is a meat offering, and the priest shall burn the memorial of it, part of the beaten corn thereof, and part of the oil thereof, with all the frankincense thereof. It is an offering made by fire unto the Most High. So all of this is going to burn together pretty much. Let me go ahead and save this as well. I'll shorten everything later. Alright, let's go ahead and move on. Laws for peace offerings. And if his oblation be a sacrifice of peace offering, if he offer it of the herd, whether it be a male or female, for the peace offering, he shall offer it without blemish before the Most High Ahia. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons, the priests, shall sprinkle the blood upon the altar round about. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Most High, the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the internal organs, and all the fat that is upon the inwards. Pardon me. And the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is on them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys. Caul above the liver, with the kidneys. It shall he take away. And Aaron's sons shall burn it on the altar upon the burnt sacrifice, which is upon the wood that is on the fire. It is an offering made by fire. So the wood will be what keeps the fire on. It is an offering made by fire of a sweet savour unto the Most High. And if his offerings for a sacrifice of peace offering unto the Most High be of the flock, male or female, he shall offer it without blemish. If he offer a lamb for his offering, then shall he offer it before the Most High. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of his offering, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And Aaron's sons shall sprinkle the blood thereon round about upon the altar. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering an offering made by fire unto the Most High, the fat thereof, the whole rump, it shall he take off hard by the backbone, and the fat that covereth the inwards, and all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away. So I'll be similar to this right here, this picture. Hold on. So alright, the 2 kidneys, the liver, and stuff like that. And that represents it's representing life and a couple of other stuff. That I will explain later as well. That's called casting lots. So I'll explain that to you guys as well in another part of this video. This is gonna be a lengthy video, as you can tell. Alright. And he shall offer of the sacrifice of the peace offering, an offering made by fire unto the Most High. So like I said, all the rump, all that stuff you're going to throw into there. So, and the priest shall burn it upon the altar. It is the food of the offering, made by fire unto the Most High. So all this food is having the Creator's power and strength in it as people eat it and all that stuff. They're not going to eat it yet, and I do not know if they eat it, but you'll see. I don't know if you'll want to eat it. You know, I'm not sure yet. We'll keep reading. So Leviticus 3, section 12. And if his offering be a goat, then he shall offer it before the Most High. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of it, and kill it before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the sons of Aaron shall sprinkle the blood thereof upon the altar round about. And he shall offer thereon his offering, even an offering made by fire unto the Most High. The fat that covereth the inward, and all the fat that is upon the inward. So with all of them you do the same thing. Whether you're using goat, using the sheep, or you're using the ox, or the bullock. Well, actually, let's just keep it between the goat and the sheep right now, and the pigeon and the dove, the turtleneck dove or whatever, turtle dove, for peace offering. And so the priest shall burn them upon the altar. It is the food of the offering made by fire for a sweet savour. All the fat is the Most High's. It shall be a perpetual statute for your generations throughout all your dwellings, that ye eat neither fat nor blood. All that goes to the Creator. Alright, let's continue. Stick with me, because we're learning the laws and everything for these congregation feasts. Leviticus 4, Laws for Sin Offerings. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto the children of Yis-RoyAl, saying, If a soul shall sin through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Most High, concerning things which ought not to be done, and shall do against any of them, if the priest that is anointed to do sin according to the sin of the people, then let him bring for his sin which he hath sinned a young bullock without blemish unto the Most High for a sin offering. So for the sin offering you'll use a bullock. For the sin offering you use bullock, because you need to do that before you even start going into the place. Everyone's sin got to be dealt with, so no one dies in there. And he shall bring the bullock unto the door of the tabernacle of the congregation before the Most High, and shall lay his hand upon the bullock's head, and kill the bullock before the Most High, pure white like essence. And the priest that is anointed shall take of the bullock's blood, and bring it to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his finger in the blood, and sprinkle of the blood 7 times before the Most High, before the veil of the sanctuary. And the priest shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar of sweet incense before the Most High, which is in the tabernacle of the congregation, and shall pour all the blood of the bullock at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take off from it all the fat of the bullock for the sin offering, and the fat that covereth the inwards. Here we go again. And all the fat that is upon the inwards, and the 2 kidneys, and the fat that is upon them, which is by the flanks, and the caul above the liver, with the kidneys, it shall he take away, as it was taken off from the bullock of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar of the burnt offering. And the skin of the bullock, and all his flesh, which his head, and with his legs, and his inwards, and his dung. So his head, his legs, his inwards, and his dung. As well, all his flesh, and the skin of the bullock. Even the whole bullock shall he carry forth without the camp unto a clean place, where the ashes are poured out, and burn him on the wood with fire. Where the ashes are poured out shall he be burnt. So, and if the whole congregation of Israel sin through ignorance, and the thing be hid from the eyes of the assembly, and they have done somewhat against any of the commandments of the Most High, concerning things which should not be done, and are guilty, when the sin which they have sinned against it is known, then the congregation shall offer a young bullock for the sin, and bring him before the tabernacle of the congregation. And the elders of the congregation shall lay their hands upon the head of the bullock before the Most High, and the bullock shall be killed before the Most High. And the priest that is anointed shall bring of the bullock's blood to the tabernacle of the congregation. And the priest shall dip his blood in some of the blood, and sprinkle it 7 times before the Most High, even before the veil. And he shall put some of the blood upon the horns of the altar which is before the Most High. This is in the tabernacle of the congregation. That is in the tabernacle of the congregation. And it shall pour out all the blood at the bottom of the altar of the burnt offering, which is at the door of the tabernacle of the congregation. And he shall take all his fat from him, and burn it upon the altar. And he shall do with the bullock as he did with the bullock for a sin offering. So shall he do with this. And the priest shall make an atonement for them, and it shall be forgiven them. And he shall carry forth the bullock without the camp, and burn him as he burned the first bullock. It is a sin offering for the congregation. So we need to do these things first. When a ruler had sinned and done somewhat through ignorance against any of the commandments of the Most High, his creator, concerning things which should not be done, and is guilty, or if his sin wherein he had sinned come to his knowledge, he shall bring his offering, a kid of the goats, a male without blemish, And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the goat, and kill it in the place where they kill the burnt offering before the Most High. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of the burnt offering, and shall pour out his blood at the bottom of the altar burnt offering. And he shall burn all his fat upon the altar, as the fat of the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall make an atonement for him as concerning his sin, and it shall be forgiven. We got two more. And if any one of the common people sin through ignorance while he doeth somewhat against any of the commandments of the Most High concerning things, which mean all of us would have to do this before we move on, which ought not to be done, and be guilty, or if his sin which he hath sinned come to his knowledge, then he shall bring his offering a kid of the goats. So any common man, he'll bring a kid of the goats. This just like the last person did, the king. But for Israel and for the priest, they would sacrifice a bullock, not a goat. A common person or anyone coming into the congregation has to do it with a baby goat. So a kid of the goats, a male, without blemish. This one has to be male. And he shall lay his hand upon the head. Pardon me, that was for the ruler. Pardon me. That is for the ruler. Alright, so common people. So he would take a kid of the goats, a female without blemish. So for the common people, they'll just use goats for Gentiles and stuff like that. For his sin which he had sinned. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering, and slay the sin offering in the place of the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood thereof with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat is taken away from off the sacrifice of peace offerings. And the priest shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savour unto the Most High. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, and it shall be forgiven him. And if he bring a lamb for a sin offering, he shall bring it a female without blemish. So if you bring a lamb, it got to be female. And he shall lay his hand upon the head of the sin offering. So the sin offering is a lamb. And slay it for a sin offering, in a place where they kill the burnt offering. And the priest shall take of the blood of the sin offering with his finger, and put it upon the horns of the altar of burnt offering, and shall pour out all the blood thereof at the bottom of the altar. And he shall take away all the fat thereof, as the fat of the lamb is taken away from the sacrifice of the peace offerings. And the priest shall burn them upon the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Most High, the pure white light. And the priest shall make an atonement for his sin that he had committed, and it shall be forgiven him. So that's how you do the sin offerings. Let's go ahead and continue. Hope you guys are still with me here. I know this is pretty detailed. So sins requiring a sin offering. So Leviticus 5, sins requiring a sin offering. And if a soul sin and hear the voice of swearing, and is a witness, whether he hath seen or known of it, if he do not utter it, then he shall bear his iniquity. Or if a soul touch any unclean thing, whether it be a carcass of an unclean beast, like pork, shrimp, lobster, all that stuff, or a carcass of an unclean cattle, or the carcass of unclean creeping things, and if it be hidden from him, he also shall be unclean and guilty. Or if he touch the uncleanness of man, whatsoever uncleanness it be, that a man shall be defiled withal, and it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, when he shall be guilty. Or if a soul swear, pronouncing with his lips to do evil, or to do good, whatsoever it be that a man shall pronounce with an oath, it be hid from him, when he knoweth of it, then he shall be guilty in one of these. And it shall be, when he shall be guilty in one of these things, that he shall confess that he hath sinned in that thing. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Most High for his sin, which he had sinned, a female from the flock, a lamb or a kid of the goats, for a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his sin. So we're required to do a sin offering, especially if we committed a sin, or we cannot go into that congregation. Everyone in there is supposed to be holy. And if he be not able to bring a lamb, then he shall bring for his trespasses which he had committed 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, unto Ahijah, one for a sin offering, and the other for a burnt offering. And he shall bring them unto the priest, who shall offer that which is for the sin offering first, and wring off his head from his neck, but shall not divide it as under. And he shall sprinkle of the blood of the sin offering upon the side of the altar, and the rest of the blood shall be wrung out at the bottom of the altar. It is a sin offering. And he shall offer the second for a burnt offering, according to the manner. And the priest shall make an atonement for him for his sin which he hath sinned, and it shall be forgiven. But if he be not able to bring 2 turtle doves, or 2 young pigeons, then he that sinned shall bring for his offering the 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. So a 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a sin offering. He shall put no oil upon it, neither shall he put any frankincense thereon, for it is a sin offering. Then shall he bring it to the priest, and the priest shall take his handful of it, even a memorial thereof, and burn it on the altar, according to the offerings made by fire unto the Most High. It is a sin offering. And the priest shall make an atonement for him, as touching his sin, that he hath sinned in one of these, and it shall be forgiven him. And the remnant shall be the priest as a meat offering. So laws for guilt offerings. 6:17. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, if a soul commit a trespass and sin through ignorance, and darkness, wickedness, and the holy things of the Most High, the pure white light that I am, then he shall bring for his trespass into the Most High a ram for the guilt offering, a ram without blemish out of the flocks, with the estimation by shekels of silver, after the shekel of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering. And he shall make amends for the harm that he had done in the holy thing, and shall add the 5th part thereto, and give it unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him with the ram of the trespass offering, and it shall be forgiven him. And if a soul sin and commit any of these things which are forbidden to be done by the commandments of the Most High, pure white light spirit, though he wist it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. Though he wist it not, yet is he guilty, and shall bear his iniquity. And he shall bring a ram without blemish out of the flock, with thy estimation, for a trespass. Estimation will be the money of shekels of silver, after the shekels of the sanctuary, the gold of the sanctuary, for a trespass offering unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him concerning his ignorance wherein he erred, and wist it not, and it shall be forgiven him. It is a trespass offering. He hath certainly trespassed against the Most High, using the Creator's name in vain and things like that. That's a trespass. So alright, so we're almost done with this. Let me see, definition. Hope you guys are still with me. The keen perception and clever expression of those connections between ideas that awaken. Okay, that ain't it. Alright, let's see what the Wis say. Huh. Check out one more section. Let me try Oxford's dictionary. That says past and past participle of. I don't know if that's what that means. Let's look in Webster's dictionary. Whist. Promissory note form. Oh, no. That's not what that means. New. Whist. Oh, whist would mean new. That you know. So the whist, when he know it. So let me go ahead and put this right here. Oh, pardon me. Alright, so for the guilt offering, this is what we would do. I'm going to sum everything up, so it's going to all make sense by the end for all you guys. Alright, let's continue. This will be the last. Wait, let me see. We have Leviticus 6. 2. Alright, need that part. Laws about leprosy. See, I'm not going to be reading about that. I'm not going to be getting that far. Mildew clothing. But it will be good to read those sections when we get to there. Cleansing the leper. Skin issues. Signs of home contamination. So it teaches you how to know signs of home contamination. Cleansing a home. The uncleanness of men. Alright, that would be a good section to read. The cleansing of woman. The law of atonement. Hold on one sec. So Leviticus goes up to... It goes up to 27. But we're not reading 27 though. We're only reading a few sections. So the law of atonement. Oh, we already read all that. Hold on. The place of sacrifice. Eating of blood forbidden. So this is all about what to eat. How it's supposed to happen. Sexual relations. Especially before that date. Those times. And who you sleep with. Idolatry forbidden. To love your neighbors. Keep my decrees. Some of these we won't be reading. Punishment for disobedience. Sexual immortality. Keep all my decrees. See, some of these we're not going to be reading. Holiness required of priests. We're not going to be reading all those. Restriction against those with blemishes. You would, if I was you, I would read that. Restriction against that. The unclean. Instructions for cleansing. So worthy offerings. Feast of the Lord. So now these would be the feasts which we'll get to. The Feast of Ahia, the Passover feast, the Feast of First Fruits, the Feast of Pentecost, the Feast of Trumpets, the Day of Atonement, the Feast of Booths, the oil for the lamps, the showbread, the Shelomit sons' blasphemies, an eye for an eye. So the Sabbatic year, now we learn about the Sabbath years in that section. The return of property, Jubilee, what's all that? The blessings of obedience, punishments for disobedience. Ahaya remembers those who repent. This will be the last section. Rules about valuations, value. Instruction of tithes. So all that we would have to read. We're not going to be reading section, we're not going to be reading numbers. This talk about the tribes and all that stuff, and you know how they're numbered and all that. But let's go back and let's go to section 6. We'll read this last part for today, and we'll continue on in the next section. So we already did the grain offering, we did the sin offering, we did the guilt offering, the peace offering, fat and blood forbidden. Alright, Moses consecrates Aaron and his sons. Pardon me, let's get over here. Alright, so yeah, they're telling us how to do it now, how to prepare for that day, because remember on that day's celebration day, we shouldn't be trying to work on that day. So Leviticus 6, sins requiring a guilt offering. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, if a soul sin and commit a trespass against the Most High Spirit, and lie unto his neighbor in that which was delivered him to keep, or in fellowship, or in a thing taken away by violence, or hath deceived his neighbor, or have found that which was lost, and lieth concerning it, and sweareth falsely, and any of all these that a man doeth, sinning therein, then it shall be, because he hath sinned, and is guilty, that he shall restore that which he took violently away, or the thing which he hath deceitfully gotten, or that which was delivered him to keep, or the lost thing which he found, or all that about which he had sworn falsely. He shall even restore it in the principal, and shall add the 5th part more thereto. So you will give how much you owe them, plus 5 parts more, and give it unto him to whom it appertaineth, in the day of his trespass offering. And he shall bring his trespass offering unto the Most High, a ram without blemish out of the flock, with the estimation, for a trespass offering, unto the priest. And the priest shall make an atonement for him before the Most High. So he would use a ram for this guilt offering. And it shall be forgiven him for anything of all that he hath done in trespassing therein. So the burnt offering. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, command Aaron and his sons, saying, this is the law of the burnt offering. It is the burnt offering because of the burning upon the altar all night unto the sunrise. And the fire of the altar shall be burning in it. And the priest shall put on his linen garment, and his linen breeches shall he put upon his flesh, and take up the ashes which the fire hath consumed with the burnt offering on the altar, and he shall put them beside the altar. And he shall put off his garments, and put on other garments, and carry forth the ashes without the camp, without the people, unto a clean place. And the fire upon the altar shall be burning in it, shall not be put out. And the priest shall burn wood on it every sunrise, and lay the burnt offering in order upon it, and he shall burn thereon the fat of the peace offerings. The fire shall ever be burning upon the altar, it shall never go out. So the fire's on all night. They're not making fire on the day of the Sabbath. You see what I'm saying? And they had to use like logs and bricks, everything to make fire. You know what I'm saying? So that would be work itself, because it takes a while. So they had to keep the fire on since the night of the last day. So the grain offering. And this is the law of the meat offering. The sons of Aaron shall offer it before the Most High, before the altar. And he shall take of it his handful, of the flour of the meat offering. So the meat offering would be the grain offering. And of the oil thereof, and all the frankincense which is upon the meat offering, and shall burn it upon the altar for a sweet savour, even the memorial of it unto the Most High. And the remainder thereof shall Aaron and his sons eat, the priests. With unleavened bread shall it be eaten in the holy place, and the court of the tabernacle of the congregation shall, in the congregation they shall eat it. It shall not be baken with leaven. I have given it unto them for their portion of my offerings made by fire. It is most holy, as is the sin offering, and as the trespass offering. All the males among the children of Aaron shall eat of it. It shall be a statute forever in your generations, concerning the offerings of the Most High, made by fire. Everyone that toucheth them shall be holy. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, This is the offering of Aaron and of his sons, which they shall offer unto the Most High in the day when he is anointed. The 10th part of an ephah of fine flour for a meat offering perpetual, half of it in the morning, and half thereof at night. In a pan it shall be made with oil, and when it is baken, thou shalt bring it in. And the baken pieces of the meat offering shalt thou offer for a sweet savour unto the Most High. And the priest of his sons, that is anointed in his stead, shall offer it. It is a statute forever unto the Most High. It shall be wholly burnt, for every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten. So for every meat offering for the priest shall be wholly burnt. It shall not be eaten. Boom, boom. There we go. The sin offering. And the Most High spoke unto Moses, saying, Speak unto Aaron and to his children and unto his sons, saying, This is the law of the sin offering. And Aaron was the guy helping Moses speak, because Moses couldn't speak well, so Aaron helped him out. So in the place where the burnt offering is killed, shall the sin offering be killed before the Most High. So the burnt offering and the sin offering is done near the same place. It is most holy. The priest that offereth it for sin shall eat it. In the holy place shall it be eaten. And the court of the tabernacle of the congregation. So the court will be the holy place to eat it. Whatsoever shall touch the flesh thereof shall be holy. And when there is sprinkled of the blood thereof upon any garment, thou shalt watch that whereon it was sprinkled in the holy place. But the earthen vessel wherein it is sodden shall be broken. And if it be sodden in a brassen pot, it shall be both scoured and rinsed in water. All the males among the priests shall eat thereof. It is most holy. And no sin offering whereof any of the blood is brought into the tabernacle of the congregation to reconcile with all in the holy place shall be eaten. It shall be burnt in the fire. So we're going to go ahead and stop at Leviticus 7 for right now. So I hope you guys are getting a great understanding of these feasts, how they work. Because before we even get into the dates and times, we got to understand why we trying to keep up with certain dates and times, you see. And these are all built on these offerings: the sin offering, the peace offering, the guilt offering, the trespass offering, the unleavened bread, the atonement, for the sins, the atonement. We also have the Feast of Trumpets, the Feast of Tabernacles, all this stuff. So there's holidays or holy days that we have in our Hebrew Israelite culture. So I hope you guys had a wonderful session with me today. We will continue in part 4, I believe, or part 5. I believe it's part 4. And we'll begin with Leviticus 1, the guilt offering. 617. Namaste, y'all. Shalom.